Manager extraordinaire for rock singing star, a great one, female entertainer of the year in my mind, Cyndi Lauper, Dave Wolf. Welcome aboard, and I understand you've got even more in store for the fans of the World Wrestling Federation. I know they're going to find it as a big surprise.
Absolutely, Gene. It gives me great pleasure at this time to bring on the fabulous Freebirds to the World Wrestling Federation. Come on, guys.
All right, Katie, Michael Hayes.
Talking about so excited. You know, there's a lot of people out there that know the Freebirds already. For those of you that don't, I'll lay it right down to you. Standing behind me, my big brother, 285 pounds of walking, talking, romping, stomping, graveyard destruction. Over to my left, my other brother, Buddy Roberts, 240 pounds of hot stuff, and he don't stop till he gets enough. And baby, what you're looking at is 250 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. Mama, I'm so doggone bad you think I'm unreal. Put it all together, and it's 740 pounds of Fantasia, the baddest wrestling team ever assembled. And you know, there's a lot of people knocking rock and roll, man.
Well,
a lot of people are knocking us because of the way we are, the way we were brought up on Brad Street. I'm talking about Bad Street, USA. The further down the block you went, the better it got. And baby, we lived in the last house. And if you don't like our long hair, they can just leave these long-haired country boys alone.
I like rock and roll, gentlemen, for the record.
That. You know, I know there's a lot of competition right here at the WWF. It's happening all over the world. We're looking forward to facing all the competition. I know there's a bunch of nasty individuals out there, but you've got to realize we don't mind getting nasty ourselves if that's what it takes.
Terry, whatever you say, buddy, quickly.
Hey, all I got to say is, Dave, we're not going to let you down, ever. The reason we're not going to let you down is because we've never let us down.
The Freebirds are here. Stay tuned.
We had, say what? A whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's house,
word attack skills and vocabulary too. All the hits in the this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
We are back at it crazy enough. Y'all gonna get a show on Saturday morning. Y'all gonna be like, hey, did these lazy Negroes take a week off again? Nope. We just did a special surprise Saturday morning, Ringtime Pro Wrestling. At it again, Keith and Keisha in the building. Keisha, say hi to the people.
Wrapped in my covers because it's freezing. I'm cold. I'm so cold. What's going on, people? How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, I'm freezing to death right now, so you have to excuse my lack of enthusiasm in the voice. It's just, it's cold. I'm cold. Jesus, it need to be spring already. I can't deal. Okay, I'm done.
I am here. I am recording. This is going to be an interesting night. We are going to talk this wrestling. It's you would think we have a loaded week, and I don't know how long the show is going to be. We're going to talk about what happens. We're going to talk about WWE with an upcoming special next Saturday, which we will preview in depth this week. So I'm going to probably squeeze in like 3 shows in a 7-day period, because I'm going to give you the longer-awaited New Japan report that never got done, which will happen sometime in the next few days. But this show here, we will talk about everything that happened this week in wrestling. Very happy to say, Keish, after years and years of campaigning and complaining, Keish, every year, I mean, how many articles have you read on Ringtime Pro Wrestling that I've written? Or how many times have I mentioned when we talk Hall of Fame about the Freebirds getting into the Hall of Fame?
Too many to count. It's been way too many to count. And I mean too many.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always talking about it. Always talking about it. Because I think it's a travesty. I think it's crazy. I don't see how 4 years ago, WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta, GA, the home of Bad Street USA, we did not get my Freebirds in. And every year after that, it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here, right? How do we not get the Freebirds in the Hall of Fame? I think we're dealing with a ridiculous notion that they're not in the Hall of Fame. So I look at it and I say, when are they going to pull the trigger? And I felt like it had to be Dallas. I felt like the only other place that would have been better than Atlanta, GA, would have been Dallas, Texas. Home of the Sportatorium. Home of where it all kicked off like wildfire with the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. I think the WWE heard my cries.
Ah, finally.
So in 2016, being inducted by Kevin Von Erich, the fabulous Freebirds will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Michael P.S. Hayes, the catalyst, the leader, the front man. Buddy Roberts, the crazy man, the workhorse, the muscle, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and also the later incarnation of the Freebirds that you saw in WCW in the 1990s and, even the late 80s. Jimmy Jam Garvin will be in the mix. Which the Garvin Freebirds are, it's kind of funny, like they are largely forgotten in the context of the Freebirds as we talk. Like when we talk Freebirds now, and we talk the historic context of Freebirds, we're talking Hayes, Gordy, and Roberts, right?
Right.
We're talking the world class run. Now, those boys went into every territory. They worked at AWA. They worked at WWE for a little bit. They was there the year before WrestleMania. Right? They was there in '84. They just didn't hang around long. Right. They went to Mid-South. Michael Hayes had an incredible feud with the Junkyard Dog to the point where they had a big match where he blinded the Junkyard Dog or whatever, and kayfabe. Dog sold the blindness, rode around Louisiana for 2 weeks with his eyes covered because that's what people did back then. They sold the gimmick, whether it was real or not.
Right.
Instead of, being hurt on TV and then showing up at like the boxing match, like ain't nothing wrong. But
right.
I digress, right? But historically we think of those Freebirds, but the largely overlooked Freebirds, which is the ones that won some good tag team titles. There was U.S. tag team titles in WCW, World Tag Team Champs in WCW. Michael Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin, who also helped launch the national career of a guy named Diamond Dallas Page, DDP.
Mm-hmm.
DDP managed the Freebirds for a little bit. One of the great guys, the friends of the show, who I hope is getting better, Rocky King, played their roadie on TV for a little while. And so yeah, I'm very excited for the Freebirds. I'm happy they're getting in. I think they're a wonderful story. I think they're innovative. Like, not everybody gets to say they're innovators, right?
Right.
The New Day was that Freebird rule as the 3-man tag team champions. The Spirit Squad with 5 people being the tag team champions. Demolition when it's Axe Smash and Crush as the tag team champions. Like, all that comes from the Freebird rule. That's why it's called the Freebird rule. You like hear that rock and roll interest music that your wrestlers come down to the ring to? That's a Freebird thing. So, like I said, I can't really stress enough how much I'm happy that they're in the Hall of Fame, and I think it's a wonderful honor for that team. On a more somber note, I was gonna put this in the news and notes, but I'll figure like, why not just go ahead and move it out of the way, and then we'll go into Raw, and then we'll come back with news and notes at the end.
Right.
Japanese wrestling legend Hayabusa passes away today. He was only 47. He passed away Thursday. He was found dead due to bleeding in the brain. He had a hemorrhage in his brain. Was one of the innovators and icons of the high flying style. was really big in the 90s, had his career cut short in 2001. He ended up trying to do a moonsault and cracked a vertebrae. It was paralyzed. It was in a wheelchair for like 10 years. Like they thought he'd never walk again. But he ended up walking. Like he worked his way up and started walking, and it was an amazing thing. But he still had health problems, and unfortunately, he passed away today. So it's one of those things. Like I know we big fans of wrestling from Japan and New Japan, and this is one of the OGs, man. This is one of the guys that way before the internet was out here and you had the YouTube, which if thanks to the magic of YouTube, I really embolden you to look up some of his matches, man. Incredible entertainment. But for us people who had the tapes and tape trade and stuff like that, this was one of the guys who you wanted to get a hand on one of the tapes. So he will be missed, and it's a sad day. With that being said, Keith, it's time for this Raw.
Oh, Lord, Jesus.
Oh, baby, I like Raw. Oh, sorry.
I'm wrong with you.
Sorry. Wrong show. Okay. Hey, man, it's crazy. He's working these extra hours and dealing with these people at this job is crazy, and I don't get to do what I want to do. I should have written like 4 articles for the site this week. I haven't gotten them done. I have a bunch of half-finished articles just sitting ready to go live. I haven't worked on kind of like sports like I wanted to. I haven't done mostly anything that I wanted to do with any of my things, and I don't know why that has happened. But neither here nor there. We'll get a lot of stuff out. Hold on real Keish.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to see what's going on, but we are here. So let's talk Raw. Keish, Dean Ambrose opens the show. Well, Triple H opens the show.
Oh.
And he is met by Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, of course.
And it gets interesting. First of all, not used to seeing Dean Ambrose, right?
Right.
Also, good job WWE on this. Reigns has a fake injury.
Yeah. I mean, I have to give it to them. They went all out with that. All out with it. Taking the pictures of him having the quote-unquote surgery, and amazing. I'm not going to lie, I believed it for a second. I was like, oh, man, damn, Triple H really messed him up. And then I found out, okay. I said, well, Lord, they could have kept that a secret, because I was in on it for a good minute.
They kept him off TV, though. This was huge. They kept Reigns off TV.
Right.
Because generally they'd find a way to screw it up. Generally he'd show up and would have speared somebody. And it's like, no, you can't do that. He needs to be off TV. He needs to be recovered from surgery. That's going to take a couple of weeks. I prefer when he comes back that he has a mask.
I want to see it too. Please, don't have him come back looking normal. Don't have him come back looking like nothing happened. And his face is all perfect and no. He needs to look busted up. I need him to have the mask on. I need him to look like he really been through some stuff. I'm just saying.
No. Well, the main thing is he needs to, like Cody Rhodes wore it when he legitimately broke his nose.
Right.
Most people, when they break a nose and they play any kind of sport, they wear the face protector mask because they need to keep the nose in place after the surgery. Also, they don't want to do further damage to the nose, so they wear the face mask. So it's just a little clear mask. It'll probably be uncomfortable for him because it'll be unnatural, but he probably should wear it probably for a couple of weeks. Also, quiet as kept. If I was facilitating a heel turn, it'd be really cool to have something extra added so he can rock out with the mask for an extra few weeks.
Right.
Just a thought. Just a thought. But fast forward. Okay. Dean gets pissed. Dean's a little crazy. And he asked Triple H for a title match. Triple H said he'll think about it. He then books him in a match with Alberto Del Rio, with the League of Nations being ringside. Y'all all know how I feel about the League of Nations.
Exactly.
It is more of a disappointment thing, and it's not even their fault. When I criticize certain things, please don't. I'm not criticizing the performer. I think they're just put in bad spots. League of Nations, king of being put in bad spots, to the point of why I get why Barrett is like, you know what? When this contract's done, I'm out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just, I'm out. I can't, no. I'll find something else to do. I'll sell insurance.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. He goes to the Indies, he's going to be over on the Indies. Then, if he can get some time in TNA will pay him a nice amount of money being an ex-WWE guy, a current guy. And he could be able to flip that into working some other indie dates. I don't know how much it supplements his income and it'll make up for that lack of that WWE paycheck. Because, man, that'll change your life.
Exactly.
Bruh. The people I've known that did just a cup of coffee or even had like a couple of years of good TV runs where they had like, you know, mid-card level runs and stuff like that. The ones who took care of their money, geez, they still live good.
Good.
I mean, good. And I mean, they do their indie dates or whatever.
Right.
They keep up the finances. But, yeah, they live good. Because, I mean, imagine you made like 500 racks, 400 racks a year for about 6 years. You know what I mean?
That's awesome money.
Now, you were on the road most of that time, so you wasn't really at home. You weren't like just going to the strip club fucking on money every day. Like,
right.
You was on the road traveling every day working. So it's just money that just sat in the bank. It's crazy. And then when you go on vacation or something, you probably don't pay for it because you done racked up so many frequent flyer miles. You have all the gold miles and all the, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got about 6 free nights at Marriott because you got all the points. But that's, you know, another story, another time. But League of Nations is there. And, you know, they'll be used throughout the story this week. I'm going to jump around here. Match of the night to me was the Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks draw.
Yes. I agree. I so agree.
They went at it for the number one contender. It was a nice ending. I wouldn't be surprised if WrestleMania goes with a triple threat. Maybe a fatal 4-way because they want to get Brie one last woo, right?
But I think it will just stop at the triple threat, though. I really do.
The triple threat is the most logical, right?
Right.
I would do the triple threat, and I'd put Brie in maybe like a 6-man tag with Natty and Paige against like 3 other divas. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that way, because it's a 4-hour show, they got to fill time. Let Natty, Brie, and Paige get the win. Brie goes out as a winner, and then she can, you know, announce before the show that it'll be her last match, and they can do a big swan song, and she can really get her flowers for her retiring. Because we joke, we criticize, we hammer the Bellas, right?
Right.
The whole internet gives the Bellas shit. But I'm going to say this, maybe unpopular opinion. One, Brie, she's not my favorite. Nikki's my favorite. Let's get that out there. Whew. What I appreciate what Nikki has done and the transition Nikki made, but besides that, I appreciate Brie in terms of service because it's what, 10 years now we've been down with the Bellas.
Mm-hmm.
And we've criticized their wrestling ability, but what you got to understand, at the time they came in, we were transitioning out of the women wrestling at all.
Yeah,
and those
true.
divas that were brought in during that era wasn't really wrestlers. They were brought in to be models. I mean, mostly what the Bellas did was escort in, hung around the special guest host every week, right?
Right.
Like, so they just hung around the back and made things look good. All right. After a while, that gets old, and so we start moving to a point where we want the women to wrestle. They had to learn this on the fly. But they went away for about a year, came back, and they found a way to make it work. They found a way to make it work, and they both have unique styles. Brie is more of a high flyer. She's more of a mover and a shaker. Nikki is the powerhouse. She's slamming chicks, putting them in the rack. You can tell she done tanned up. She went and got the boob job. And you can tell she's been working with her boyfriend, John Cena. Like, the way she moves now. And I've seen her work out. Like, I've seen tapes of her doing squats and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, she been hanging around John. But I think it's good for the business. And I think the Bellas they've added, it's been in a better place than they found it. And they've added a lot more. And they've helped a lot of people get over, right?
Right.
Like, them turning back and forth ain't really a fault of theirs. It's a fault of people who write the story. But I see why they use them, because each time they use them for the thing that they needed, it helped some other talent. So I give them all the credit in the world, and I hope the best for Nikki, Brie, as she's retiring and she'll be to time with her husband.
Right.
And I hope the best for them too. So that all being said, not to be overly mushy, but you know what I mean. With Brie entering retirement, I'm not shitting on the Bella twins, basically. Right. Like, I think they're easy targets for people.
They are. I think they are way easy targets for folks. It's really simple to point them out, considering who they are. I mean, they're the Bella twins. Like, they're the only set of diva. They're only set of diva twins in the WWE. So of course they come at them. They come at them because of who they are, who their spouses are. Pretty much calling. I might as well call John Cena the same thing for Nikki as I do for Daniel and Brie. Like, they get criticized because of that. They get criticized because their wrestling abilities, what they do or don't deserve, where they should be at. You know, people decided a long time ago where the Bella's place was, and then they've never let it go. I think that the Bella's beginning was, of course, it was fit for the time in which they came in, and then it started to evolve into something different. We're not models anymore, we're wrestlers, because they want us all to be wrestlers. But people are still criticizing them for what they were and not what they are. So I really actually feel for both Brie and Nikki, and not in a sense of pity, but in a sense of, you know, they really should get the accolades and the awards and the credit for their involvement as opposed to in their growth, as opposed to people putting them down. Now, I have never really been a big fan of the Bella twins, not because of the lack of excellent ability or anything like that. I've just never really been a big fan of them. But at the same time, I'll never take away from a person's growth and improvement. And I think that the people that judge and criticize her the most, they refuse to recognize any of that. They refuse to sit here and actually take in the fact that they've come from so far, you know. And so people forget that some of the women that were in the women's division before they changed to the Divas division were in the exact same boat as the Bellas. You know, one minute they were a model, they were just there to be eye candy and put on the arms of wrestlers, and then eventually they ended up putting them in the ring. And then next thing you know, you have a Trish Stratus. You know, like, so it's something that I personally, it's a little offensive almost. You know, I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, it's killing women everywhere. It's not that bad, but it's to a point where it's like you have to give them credit for what they've done and what they do. Like, I've never been a big fan of either one of them, but at the same time, I'm not going to take away what they've accomplished in the past years that they've been in the WWE. So I definitely applaud Brie for everything she's done, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they suck, they get on my nerves and all that, because I've done it in the past. I, of course, anybody that has listened to the show, they know. Like, I've done it too many times, but I've never really, mentioned it in a way of saying like, oh, it's more so I've just never been a fan. Like, that's really what it is. It's kind of like a person going in a crowd just because they didn't want to see a person. It's kind of like that. Because we both suck at acting, but they wrestling skills have gotten way better than what they were. So, I actually hope to see Brie wrestle at WrestleMania. You know, if this is her last hurrah, you know, then that's how it should happen. That's how she'll go out. I don't want to see her. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want it to be a fatal four-way. I don't want to see it happen because we both know that they're not going to put the title on her if she's leaving. Or if she like sniffs the plan to leave. Like, it's not going to happen. So I don't want that to be like her ending to it all. Oh, I lost this match. Okay, bye. Like, no, it don't need to happen like that. Oh.
No, I agree. Do that. The Lucha Dragons are still wrestling the League of Nations?
Yeah, whatever. Like, I'm sorry, that's just my attitude towards it. I'm really getting tired of all that. Like, any version of Del Rio versus Kalisto is really starting to get on my nerves now, and it's just kind of like, okay, let it go, people. Like, just let it die. I can't deal. You know, like, just why? It has no point. It just has no point. And the League of Nations get on my nerves. Like, just to be honest, they get on all my nerves.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Kalisto's ever going to end up in a U.S. title match or give up the U.S. title. So that in itself is kind of weird. Flip side of that, when it's 3-on-2, they still make them look bad.
Right.
Right? Or if it's 4-on-3, however they stack the deck, they still make them look bad.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, can we stop doing this? Exactly. And it's time to move on. Like, you got a U.S. champion, you can't have him dormant. You know what I mean? And sitting around. But on the flip side of that, with a U.S. champion, it's like, what are you going to do with his partner?
Right.
And I think they haven't figured that out either. Right? So I think that's a huge part of the problem. But flipping that over, the New Day takes on AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. Y2AJ. And geesh, what's going on with them?
Look, like, that's how this when you know you starting off something with just the most ridiculous. I don't know. Like, to tell the truth, it was 1 minute, looking at each other like you want to just stab each other in the throat, and then the next now it's like, well, yeah, we deserve a title shot. what? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what's going on with them. I really thought that it was going to be something totally different from what it is now, but I see that's the case. That's not the case. And it's crazy because I never thought that they were going to continue with this as long as they have, but it's still going on, and I'm just kind of like, okay, when is it going to be over? Like, I just need to know, like, is this going to continue? Like, I'm not really too fond of it, but at the same time, I guess it's how it's supposed to be. You know, I guess it's how they decided that this was going to be, but I'm just kind of like, why? You know, is it really necessary, though? That's the bigger question that I have. Is it really necessary? Like, does it have to be this way? I don't know.
Also, when are the New Day turning babyface?
Can we please answer that question, too? Like all of it just, it boggles the mind. Because I'm not going to lie, and you're not going to lie, and all of us are going to be honest about the situation. People don't really necessarily hate the New Day. They just think that they are annoying as hell. Like, that's all there is to it. So, I don't know when they're going to turn babyface, but it need to be soon, because this heel thing ain't working for them.
Well, no, I think it's working. Don't get me wrong. I think it's worked too well. I mean, when they go to too many arenas now, it's New Day rocks.
Right.
So it's worked too well, honestly. But all the promos where they making fun of the League of Nations, to me, hints towards a babyface turn at some point.
Exactly.
Like, it's way... They cutting videos left and right, making fun of the League of Nations. Oh, all very funny, mind you. Let's not forget that.
No,
they are
not
all
at all.
very funny. But, yeah, I think there's something there. Undertaker makes an appearance on Raw for the first time in a long time. And, he warned McMahon that you know what I do.
Oh, right.
Talking all this shit. You gonna send your son up to his cell, and when that door closed, lights out, man.
Exactly.
Hey, can't do nothing for you then. Once he get in there, hey, it is what it is. McMahon seemed a little phased, but he is still going to send his son to the slaughter. The Dudleyz defeat the Usos in a match I could care less about. Big Show beat Kevin Owens via countout. And Dean Ambrose has his match with Alberto Del Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Beats Del Rio. Well, not sure official result of the match. Hangs on. League of Nations stick around. Triple H comes to the ring. League of Nations does the 4-on-1 thing, beats him up. The Triple H beats up Ambrose. But tells Ambrose he accepts. Ambrose in a defiant act lays down, busted up, tells Hunter thanks. Hunter goes for the beatdown on Ambrose. Similar to Roman Reigns, but doesn't go all the way ham on him. I ask you this, Keish. Does this set up for Roadblock overshadow WrestleMania?
I don't even like the fact that they're having Roadblock. And I say that because personally, I don't think it's necessary. And I really wish that they would just kind of continue on with things as they are without having this I'm just going to call it randomness, period, in the middle of everything. I'm not going to say that it's overshadowing WrestleMania because to me, it takes a lot for that to happen. Like, more than just a few matches being put together for a random pay-per-view. Personally, I just think that it'll take a minute. It'll take a lot more than that for it to overshadow it. I don't think it's overshadowing it, but it does raise a lot of questions to me. Like, why is this happening? You know, what's the point? It's really more so of, are y'all serious? That's how I think about it right now. Like, it's like, okay, are you serious? Like, are you really gonna have Roadblock? Like, it's getting closer. WrestleMania is getting closer, and I really feel like it shouldn't happen. Like, they shouldn't even have. So for it to overshadow WrestleMania, no, not at all. Because in my mind, and I might be wrong, but every match they create for WrestleMania right now that's how it's gonna be. But things change, people change, situations change, so you never know. I just think that this is gonna be interesting in itself just because of the match setup. But to say that it overshadows WrestleMania, the only thing that could do that is if Ambrose wins the title, but at the same time, it wouldn't overshadow WrestleMania. It would just make it even better pay-per-view for the year. So,
okay, but here's the thing: I maybe used the wrong words. Overshadow probably is the wrong terminology. I think it's an opportunity to fix WrestleMania up. Like, I'm glad they're doing it. I think it's a good chance for them to fix things, right?
All right.
I go there say fix things, but just try to get a pulse to the people. I think this match is something that they wanted more than Roman Reigns versus Triple H, right? Hypothetically, if Ambrose wins the title, now we have a dilemma.
All right.
Does Ambrose face Reigns, or does he face Brock? And does he face Brock for the title, or does he face Reigns, and then what do we do with Brock? That is a very interesting element, because Brock is going to face Bray Wyatt at Roadblock.
Right.
That changes a lot of things.
It changes
we had almost
everything.
Written Bray Wyatt off, right?
Right.
Maybe we rekindle that Wyatt feud that we had at the end of Royal Rumble that we just kind of yada away from. Like, that would be interesting.
It would be.
We have just totally just not acknowledged anything having to do with the Wyatt family post Royal Rumble. So we'll see how that happens and what happens with that. Because we thought, honestly, a lot of us thought the Wyatts was going to run in Fastlane and cause Reigns the title match at Fastlane, and that's where we were going to pick up. But apparently that is not how things went down. But, I think Roadblock has some interesting things, and I expect the Wyatt family to be involved, and we'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think Bray Wyatt needs a Roman Reigns level feud if he's going to go on to the next level, right? Not Roman Reigns, I'm sorry. A Brock Lesnar level feud to go on to the next level. I think that just has to happen for him.
Yeah.
But with that, we're going to take our break, and we're going to come back on the other end. A whole lot of news, a whole lot of birthdays, and we'll be back on the other side. Peace.
Talk about disrespect. What in the hell is this nutcase doing out here?
Hey, before we get started out here, I just want to let you know, I just got off the phone with Roman Reigns. And first of all, he says hi. And second of all, he wanted me to tell you that he's coming for you. I figured you'd know what that meant. I mean, that's y'all's deal, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off his win last night at the Oscars for Best Supporting Actor in a Bromance, Dean Ambrose.
You're real smart. You're the cerebral assassin. And you're smart enough to know that you never, ever want to get in the ring with a guy like me. You're smart enough to know that you can't beat me. And you've known that for a long time. Yeah. I can see it all over you. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your body. I can read you like a book's on hell. I can smell it on you. You don't think you can beat me. So how about some action from the COO, huh? How about me versus you? How about me versus you for that? And my brother Roman Reigns won the right to fight for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the champion on April 3rd, now does it? So let's find out if I'm just talking crazy, and let's find out right now.
I'm the authority around here. Your thoughts, your ideas, they mean nothing. Although, I must admit that this intrigues me somewhat. So I'll do what I always do. I will take it under advisement. I will see if it is best for business. And I promise you this, Dean, I'll think about it. And I'll give you an answer by the end of the night.
So, on the flip side, we are back with the birthdays. Keisha's not a lot of birthdays, so we can run through them real quick. Today, as we record, is March 4th. But you'll hear it to be March 5th. That means 2 days ago, Justin Gabriel had celebrated a birthday. Gabriel turned 35. Today, March 4th, which will be yesterday, I guess if you're hearing it, it'd be Sarita's birthday. Tomorrow, Sunday, March 6th. Do you know Val Venus and Mr. Kennedy share a birthday?
Oh, wow.
Yes. The big Val Boski will be at 45, while Mr. Kennedy will be turning 40 on Sunday, March 6th. And Monday, March 7th, Bruce Pritchard, a.k.a. Brother Love. I love you. We celebrate the birthday. So that's it for the birthdays. And let's get on to the news, which is like always something to talk about and look at in the world of wrestling is the news. We've announced Freebirds going to the Hall of Fame. TNA's lawsuit against Scott Steiner is dismissed, and they can no longer bring it back up. As you know, in 2012, Scott Steiner left the company and had some disparaging things to say about TNA. Some of them were pretty true from what I've heard through the grapevine. But through all the things he's said about the company, apparently TNA has tried to sue him, saying that he was under contract and he didn't have a right to, and he was in breach of contract, which he was not. Which was one of those like reasons why TNA stay losing, man. Stay losing, dog. But yeah, they said, I mean, the way the judge said it, he not only dismissed the lawsuit, he said it where like they can never bring this back up. Like, please do not ever call me again with anything that has to do with this, because this is stupid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So
pretty much.
They told him to go away and tell them to go away. Speaking of which, TNA is releasing the AJ Styles DVD set. Because why? Because AJ Styles is popping in the WWE right now. And what's a better time to release a DVD set? Fuck about where he was working for us. Let's get the DVD set out now. Once again, reasons why TNA stay losing. Warrant against Ric Flair in North Carolina has been rescinded. Apparently, Ric Flair had owed like $33,000 from his last divorce, and there was an arrest warrant set for him in North Carolina, and Ric Flair hasn't been traveling to North Carolina since, but apparently that warrant has been rescinded, which means he's probably paid the fine off. So Ric Flair is perusing the Carolinas again. So that happened. Rhyno, former ECW and WWE star Rhyno, the Man Beast, is running for public office, Keisha. Rhyno will be running in his hometown of, I think he's from Dearborn. Yeah, he is running. He's on the ballot for state representative.
Okay. Question: ain't there some steps somewhere in between all of that? I don't know. I guess.
Well, no. I mean, here's the thing. He'll run. I'm not sure when the Michigan primaries are, but he must already be on the ballot, or he might be trying to get in as a walk or write-in. Right. One thing about having a monocle level of fame is you can push the write-in thing, because people will actually go and write you in. And I think there are some fans that will be, interested in voting for Rhyno, because he's popular in the area. He's popular among an age group that's like in their 30s now, right? So they'll get out and vote. And, I mean, he has a chance to shake things up. Doesn't really say if he's running as a Democrat or a Republican or anything like that. But he has notoriety. Name recognition is something. I'm sure in his attack ad from his opponents, they'll show some ECW clips. Right? But I'm not sure if that won't help him get over either. So, I'd be interested. Wrestlers have done well in politics, and some have not done so well. Linda McMahon, who's not a wrestler, but, was a WWE executive and owner, visibly failed. She spent $90 million trying to be a senator and failed. For $90 million, she could have bought an island. I'd have set up a puppet government for her to run. She could have been president of McMahon Island. Like $90 million, you can set up a third world country. I'm pretty sure. Or just purchase an existing one and just make yourself supreme ruler. But I digress. Jesse Ventura is probably the most legendary of the rest of the people who made. I mean, he made the governor. Also, possible libertarian presidential candidate. Don't know if he's going to do that, but he has thrown that out there. In a time where, hey, if Trump-like people can get these votes, I'd be on the watch out. Jerry Lawler failed in his attempt to be mayor of Memphis, but all I'm saying is it's not uncommon for wrestlers to run for office, right? So I wish the Man Beast the best, and hope it works out for him. WWE signs a multi-year deal with Cricket Wireless. They announced they will integrate multi-year sponsorship. Cricket WWE announced that the nation's fastest growing prepaid wireless brand will team up in a multi-year agreement, providing Cricket significant visibility and customer engagement at WWE's biggest events of the year, including WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Payback. WWE's relationship with Cricket is highlighted by a sponsorship of the WWE Network and the first ever 24/7 direct-to-customer network. This includes all live pay-per-views, scheduled programming, and massive video-on-demand library. So, basically, WWE is about to start pimping this Cricket Wireless. So, John Cena, the most followed active U.S. athlete on Facebook, will serve as a Cricket brand ambassador and promote sponsorship through social media. Because I didn't know nothing about no Cricket for about a couple of years. My friends in the Carolinas had Cricket, right? But apparently, that shit has exploded. And people really dig the Cricket. They'll still be able to bring my iPhone to the Cricket. and they can get it rolling on the cricket. But other than that, I don't know. I think it's good for the WWE. I think it's good for shareholders, because if you own that stock, to know that they have a sponsorship deal with somebody who will put some money up to save the company money from doing some things, and all they got to do is shield a little bit. I don't think cricket is a bad company to be associated with, so I think it's a win-win for everybody involved. WWE has no problem shucking products. I mean, hell, they did a whole interview segment with Natty just to set up to sell Subway sandwiches. I realize that they have no problem shilling these products. The way they pimped that Mountain Dew on the counter at these pay-per-views, they have no problem shilling. So they gonna push your stuff. Like it's almost 1950s-esque how they work to add stuff in. So I think that's kind of cool. Also, what else is going on in the news? That is about it. Other than that, Keish, have you been watching some NXT lately?
I actually missed it this week. I haven't. I have to honestly say I missed it this week, but I definitely have been trying to keep up with it as much as possible. I usually on the nights that it comes on, trying to recover from the week, but this just no longer here nor there. But now, I definitely this week. But I have to honestly say, when I missed it, I find out the results of it anyway, just to see what went down, how everything progressed, all that kind of stuff. So, I know it's a long. You weren't expecting all that for an answer, but hey, sometimes you got to give a long jaded one just to get people to understand where you come from.
No, that's good. Here's what I'll tell you. The Neville versus Sid Baylor match is flames. Make sure you see that.
Okay.
Austin Aries makes his TV debut, so we're kind of getting caught up there. Keish, hold on for a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So one thing, we'll all get caught up, and one of the focuses of next week's show will be us really talking NXT in depth as we get going towards the WrestleMania setup and NXT Dallas, which is going to be a huge show, Keish. Freaking huge. Think about it. Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura. It's going to be loaded, right? And we got to get ready for who's going to the main roster. I think that is one of the more pertinent, present issues of NXT right now, right? Because it's Bayley's time, right?
Right.
Like I think we can't be under the illusion that it's Bayley's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, after she does whatever she does in Dallas, I think after WrestleMania we got to get her to the main roster, because at that point it'll freshen everybody up. It'll give everybody new matches. I think her going to the main roster will allow for the development of what happens with Sasha, whatever happens with Charlotte, whatever happens with Becky, and having the whole 4 horsewomen there at one time. Hey man, we can revive the stable. We can make the stable on the main roster. We need some women's title belts also. We also need to rename the Divas title the women's title. But that's not something I haven't said before. I don't understand why this hasn't happened yet. But I'm definitely under the idea of that maybe Bayley comes to the main roster and NXT works through Asuka and Nia Jax and Emma and everybody else that's going on, because they still have a loaded roster down there in NXT. And I think if what happens with Bayley when she comes up, when we do the brand extension, I will keep the women exclusively on SmackDown or Raw. I can see them. It might be better to keep them on Raw because it's a 3-hour product, but keeping them strictly on Raw and making that whichever brand they go to, the women have to be exclusive, and then they can have 2 to 3 women's matches on the program, and we can develop those tag titles and develop the singles pushes and that kind of thing. At least that's my dream idea, right? Now on the men's side, Samoa Joe. It's time for Samoa Joe to hit that main roster. It's also time for Finn Balor to hit the main roster. Finn is really selling the Bullet Club really hard now. Right now it's Balor Club, but we see the Bullets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And New Japan isn't really using Bullet Club no more, because since Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows have left, now they're the Elite, and it's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They're the last guys standing, and they're the Elite. So with the rest of the guys coming out, and not knowing the future of everybody, right? Like, I don't know the future of Bad Luck Fale. I don't know if he's coming over or not, and Tama Tonga is coming over or not. So there's some whole other things going on, but we know for sure Anderson and Gallows are leaving. I've left to Japan. They done the farewell show, and it was emotional. But now, are they coming to TNA? Are they coming to WWE? Whatever happens with that. Pretty sure they're coming to WWE because they've been teasing it with Baylor and the Bullet Club, and they've been talking about it on NXT. So now WWE to tip their cap. When they start mentioning internet rumors on TV, that means they're true and those guys are coming, right? So for what I get from it, they're gonna come when Finn probably hits the main roster, and they're probably gonna meet him on the main roster. Like, I don't think they're gonna go to NXT and work out like that. Plus, a guy like Gallows, who came in and has been on the main roster in WWE before, let's get them guys on the main roster, get them going, and I wouldn't be surprised if Finn Balor debuts on the main roster as a heel, and he's backed by the Bullet Club as his heaters. That would make perfect sense, right? And those heaters jump somebody, and Finn puts himself right into a major feud with one of the top stars. Like I said, Joe probably will debut, and Sami Zayn. It's time for Sami Zayn to come on home. I think injuries delayed his push to the main roster, but it's time for Sami Zayn to make his way to the main roster at WWE and see what we can get from there. Boy. So yeah. With that, I think, and I think NXT is in good hands. I think Regal has a good handle on things down there, and the storylines are incredible. And Austin Aries' debut is going to give him a shot in the arm. Nakamura being there for a little while is going to give him a shot in the arm. They're going to be loaded. So, like I said, with the brand split, if the brand split happens and you have the 3-tier structure of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, it's going to be bananas, right?
Right.
In other news and notes, Lucha Underground is now available on iTunes.
When did this happen?
They just announced it on Monday. On Tuesday. I'm sorry, but yes, 39 episodes, season 1 and 2, are currently airing on available for purchase on iTunes. Pretty much, there'll be $1.99 per episode. In standard definition, $2.99 if you want to get it in HD.
Of course.
$34.99 for the season in standard definition. $49.99 for the HD for season 1. Season 2 is going for $29.99 in standard definition and $39.99 in HD. So, pretty much, Lucha Underground iTunes includes all 39 episodes from season 1, the first 5 episodes of season 2. And additional new episodes the day after they air on El Rey. So they air on El Rey Wednesday at 8. So they'll be up on iTunes the next day. And the season 2 premiere of Lucha Underground is for the free.
Of course.
And the trailer will be available indefinitely. So starting today through March 28th, the fans can get the season 2 premiere of Lucha Underground for free. So, hey, if you haven't seen the premiere of season 2, get it. with this content going to iTunes. Should I say this, Keisha, or not?
Say it.
In my head, that means it's probably, well, you know what? It's probably was on there anyway. I have to pull out the tablet. I wonder if it's on Showbox.
Look, I'm not dealing with you. But I have to honestly say, I should look. I mean, I'm not saying, but I am saying I should look and see. Because, hey, Showbox, man, they be coming up in the world a little bit, you know. They be throwing out random shows. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't know that was on here. So, don't look that up, people. Just let it ride. Just let it ride. I think there's folks out there in the world that know what it is, but if you don't ask. We ain't worried about it. Don't be worried about it. Okay. End of that discussion. Anyway, but yeah, definitely, I need. Let me look at it right now. I'm gonna find out. Thank you, Keith. You gave me something to kind of look try to see.
Look, I mean, I know Raw and SmackDown is on there.
Wait, where they put SmackDown on there?
Well, I thought Raw was. I know Raw was there. SmackDown may not be on there.
Yeah.
But you can get SmackDown on the Hulu, so it really doesn't matter. Or catch the replays in other places.
No, it's not. But
I'd be on the lookout, right? Speaking of which, on the Showbox, that's how I watched 12 Rounds 3.
Of course.
And I'm going to watch The Condemned 2 this weekend while I'm at work. So expect a review for that coming up this week.
Right.
I was supposed to watch it like a couple of weeks ago. And, hey, Stone Cold got a new movie with Michael Jai White, which they have a couple of movies together. Tactical Force I reviewed once already before.
Right.
But now they got another one that looks like it's going to be really good. You know, Stone Cold is the king of those B action movies. Like, he done took the crown for Wesley Snipes. Like, those second-rate action movies, bruh, he is on them. Like, he must be, I'm pretty sure he gets a nice check from those.
Right. I'm pretty sure you do, too.
Like, if you look at his filmography, Stone Cold did a lot of movies in the last couple of years. Like, I'm not sure that he, like, making rock money in it, but I'm pretty sure, like, he makes a good chunk of change. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I need to watch Condemned 2, which I've never reviewed the first Condemned, and very underrated movie and very underrated concept, because I can see that very much happening. That's that. With that, Keish, we're going to put a pin in this episode, because we done went to random dancing.
I know well, yeah, we always go to random dancing. If it's not in the beginning of the show, it's in the middle. If it ain't in the middle, it's towards the end, you know. I mean, hey, they enjoy it, you know, so. Yeah. Of course, this is a wrestling program, but hey, sometimes you talk about different stuff because we have real life situations going on.
Hey, I could have spent a half hour on WrestleMania 23 superstar Donald Trump and how they talking about openly trying to steal the election from him.
Oh, Lord Jesus, just why? I can't. Keith, I want this joke to be over, okay? Like, you know that bad joke everybody keep telling? This is exactly what's going on right now, and I'm not with it.
It is not a joke. It is not a game.
I know I'm not dreaming, because I wake up every day to the same thing. Like, I don't know what to do. It's awful.
It is not a drill.
Yeah, I'm going to need it to be. I'm just saying. I'm going to need this to be some kind of test that everybody done failed. Like, I can't deal. Like, why? Why is this? What? You know what? I'm not. Okay. I know we weren't going to get into it, but forget it. I'm getting into it. So, I personally just, when it first came out that he was even running, I was like, oh, they playing, right? Nah, this is, he ain't gone. So then I was like, well, nobody's going to really take him seriously. Like, it's not going to happen. you know, he's going to be like 9%, you know, approval rating and blah, 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 blah. And then he started to lead, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is not for real. Like, oh, they just put him ahead, you know, now they don't want to hurt his feelings, blah, blah, blah. And then then the primary started, and this is when stuff started to get real. And now I'm just kind of like, this can't be for real. Like, I'm constantly telling myself this is not real. But it is. It is real. It's very real, and I'm not really too fond of it. You know, I've never been a Republican supporter anyway, but still, just why?
All right, I'm gonna give you some things to ponder on, and we'll go through. And this is kind of fun because I'm gonna tie it all up to wrestling, right?
Right.
First and foremost, it stopped being a joke a while ago. But here's what I'll say for Trump. In my mind, I have no way to say whether this is true or not. I don't think he seriously ran for president. I think this was a publicity stunt that got out of hand.
Oh, right.
I think he's actually tried to trash the election. And it hasn't worked. Everything that he said that would kill a campaign, people only support it more. Right?
Right.
The Republican establishment hates him. They don't want him to be the nominee. They don't think he can win a general election. And also, they have no control over him. They don't know what he's going to say, what he's going to do. He's not backed by any of the money. So they don't really have a way to put him in a box and do what they need him to do. Okay, where does this tie into wrestling? Trump has a very organic support base. I can't explain the appeal, but I have a good idea. People are tired of the same old, same old.
Right.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
So he gives them something different. And giving them something different, he gives them something to latch on to. He's not polished like a lot of politicians are. He doesn't come out with any real detailed speeches. He doesn't say a whole lot of things that, you know, mumbo jumbo that people don't understand. He talks real straight talk, right? Now, you may not like what he says, and you can disagree with his politics, because I do. But what he has is he's touched the core of what people... A lot of his support are blue-collar Republicans, like people who break a file, go to work every day, punch a clock. They're not the wine and cheese crowd, right?
Right.
But the wine and cheese crowd are tied into the big money people who run the party and think they know what the people want, despite the people telling them this is what we want.
Exactly.
This is why they try to steal the election, because they're going to do a contested convention, which basically they're planning to screw the people. They are planning that at WrestleMania for them, the national convention, they're going to get there and say, hey, I know the people want this, but we're going to try to give them something else. And that shit is going to result in a riot.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like I said, ties a wrestler because Donald Trump is a Republican Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I give you that. I give you that.
Right? Nobody can explain Daniel Bryan's rise. But he was a breath of fresh air. And the fans loved him. He got over because he was a good wrestler. But Keish, what really took Daniel Bryan to the next level?
Him.
No. What? The yes chant.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah.
Well, it started with the no. And they went against him, and it kind of went to, they start saying yes. And then when he started making his turn, he started saying yes.
So everybody started saying yes.
Yes. It is yes. 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 All right. The establishment kept trying to hold him down, but the fans wouldn't let it happen. Right?
Right.
Every primary, he doesn't get any endorsements, right? South Carolina, the governor endorsed Rubio. The senator from that state endorsed Rubio. You know who won? Trump. The people don't give a damn about your endorsements. Mitt Romney, whoever, all these different people who came out the woodwork and usually matter, doesn't matter right now. They endorsed all these other candidates. Who's winning these primaries? Trump. It is because the people want Trump. For better or for worse, like I said, I don't agree with the politics, don't agree with a lot of things you say. I think he's a polarizing figure, but this is what the people said they want. And the powers that be are trying not to give the people what they want, no matter how bad the people have said this is what they want.
Exactly.
Right? They, like the establishment wants Rubio to be the man. He's young, he's good looking, and they figure he can pull the minority vote. Rubio is Roman Reigns.
All right.
The establishment is pushing Roman Reigns, despite what everybody's telling you that they want Daniel Bryan, aka Trump. The establishment is trying to give those people Roman Reigns, no matter what. Well, while watching this, the other wrestling company, the Democrats, is watching it, and they realize that company over there is going to go out of business because it's going to implode. Because those people are going to revolt if they don't get what they want.
Right.
And it's going to be dangerous. But it is what it is. Like I said, they try to give those people Roman Reigns. Or, if you want to go WrestleMania 30, guess what? Marco Rubio, Batista.
Exactly. Oh, God.
Batista won the Royal Rumble, right?
Right.
They gave it to Batista. Hey, Batista, you are the man. And Rubio like, I'm the man, you the man. The people like, boo.
Exactly. And it was like, no.
Hey, Brian. Hey, I should be in the main event. Yes. The company, no. Fuck that. Until the hand is forced, right?
Right.
And that's what's going to happen. Their hand is going to have to get forced. But with that being said, it's time for us to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And we will be back in a couple of days. And then a couple of days after that, we will give you some fine audio wrestling. And with that, peace.
Bye.
Boss, yeah, everything's all set. Mr. McMahon Fan Appreciation Night is ready to go.
In January of 2007, I wanted to upstage Vince, and that's never easy.
After this is over, my name, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, will be ranked right up there with Mother Teresa.
The amazing part of that evening, however, is that it was Fan Appreciation Night.
How am I doing on Fan Appreciation Night?
What happened is I appeared on a big monster screen in the arena.
Vince, you claim that you tell your audience what they want, what they like, and all of that nonsense. They want value. Who knows more about value than me, Vince?
And we dropped thousands of dollars down on the fans.
Look up at the ceiling, Vince.
That's
Look
not
up
real
right
money,
now.
folks.
Look at that.
Real money? Grab some! Donald Trump, you embarrass me like this?
So the fans appreciated Trump more than they appreciated Vince because I gave him a lot of money.
Mr. McMahon has been Trump. Give me that. That's my money.
Now that's the way you show appreciation.